I've been here the whole time, but that's all good. I am ready for a wonderful, wonderful match here in this North American Strikers Academy. We have Flying Blobos against People Supernova here for this match, getting started on the market that is Nightfall, however you say that, as we got some good comps. What are we looking at here?
We're going to see the traditional Mako era Asher from PPL, or whoa, not PPL, People's Supernova. This is something they play quite often. They're fans of either this Mako backline along with just buffing Daru, because Daru's a very good brawler. He will get it done. Guy makes magic on the field, mini Scyther 12 if you will. And on the flip side, Flying Blobos is another comp we've seen quite often from them, starring the Juno backline and then Mimi on this typically Blink midfielder. Sometimes Estelle, sometimes Amy. Overall, I'd say traditional comps from both these teams.
Yeah, definitely stuff you'd see very, very often here in these kinds of series. But, I mean, there is a power play for the side of Supernova. That's kind of what they want to do. They just want to buff their brawler, Daru, as you said. Kind of a raid boss in the offensive position. Just really is able to kind of show up and show off, basically with everything they do. And now, I mean, they have two teammates with the flip. They're about to get a flip for themselves. So we'll see what's going to happen here as, Daru tries to take Ben Sundo off the map.
Yeah, a little dash to catch this ball, and with Daru on a flip, Mimi, or not, wrong team, sorry, Celici will be burning the flip first, and nothing will be found off of it, and maybe Mimi's turn, flip to shut down the cage. The shot is not good enough. The secondary from Mako speed is very impactful. Daru, yeah, you just flip on the Juno, there's nothing she can really do about it.
Yeah, as in that point, I saw a really, like, the side of Supernova knows how they want to defend with this comp. You saw kind of Moonbeam holding down that secondary, and Celici was there with the Bewitching Beam right onto the core from Emmy's flip. And then additionally was also there to get the strike. And there really wasn't any solid way for the side of Flying Blobos to get any sort of goal or score going at all. So, I mean, just really great job from People Supernova. They've played together for a little while now. They kind of know what each other want and are able to get some good stuff off of that simply because of that experience. But that's Alpha Me with a great slice and dice into flip. Oh, and Daru getting the revenge.
Yeah, and the revenge will not come at will not be free. It does cost them a barrier. But they're okay for now, and they fight back, claiming goals are open for both teams as everybody respawns. It's about to get crazy. Arabeam will push it forward. There's the firewall sentry that we are so used to seeing on these laned maps. A bunch of stuff comes in. A good strike shot to follow that primary means Daru's path player looked good, however, not able to find it. Pensando putting in a bit of a scary spot as he's running low on resources. He does have that flip to work with if they can get Daru a touch. Again, may have to burn that. Good clears by Moonbeam means that Alpha Me's a bit out of position, and a missed dash from Benzando, I believe, means that Daru will just catch a straight core.
Yeah, I mean, great job from the side of People Supernova. Nice 2-0 lead so far in this series. They're looking pretty comfortable. They still have that flip up from Moonbeam. I'm pretty sure that's the flip that Moonbeam got up in that first point, and just it hasn't really been used at all. As I mean, it does have flip. We saw them get one in the first point, but once again, the side of Nova had a great defense. But that's a flip right up in your barrier. Not much you can do there. As they're trying to get the kill, he gets killed instead by a glitch prop from Emmy.
Yeah, and a little offense here for the side of Flying Blobos. They will get it forward, but Celici will actually find the midfield line to keep it up, and that is a power play gone. And not only is it gone, a power play cost you a barrier as well. Celici a bit low, however, not a ton of damage in the game quite yet. Means that she is okay to stay up if they would like. The Maelstrom's looking good, not able to find anything, but does find the goalie, and off that, Daru will find the bottom shot.
Yeah, nice quick 3-0 set for the side of Nova as we're getting in a draft. I mean, the anomalies from Celici have been, or no, that's Rune. The tornadoes, I'll just call it that, from Celici have been really, really good. Right there, particularly just catching Pensando off the field. Pensando had flip, but didn't really want to get rid of that, and now we have more of those tornadoes from Celici with that extra special pickup. Pensando, though, Juno is really, really good at scaling with that dash range. Maybe not as good as she was in the past, but Explosive Entrance should be really nice to have. And then Moonbeam as well, picking up that fire up could be really, really big for the character and the player. Gonna have a lot of speed, and that's kind of the little kitten comp that you have here, just buffing everything into Daru, and then playing well on your own turf as well, to just make sure that the other team can't really do much. And it's been working out well so far, and with that fire up, it's going to be really, really big, because now you have all the more energy to kind of make plays with.
For sure. Alchemy looking to find something. Unable to beat the back line of Moonbeam and Celici. Will beat that interaction, though, and that's good. Actually keeping in this corner. The Oni's blade is suddenly very threatening. Moonbeam, some good dribbles, means that they're still chilling for now. Will not be losing to the Slice and Dice today. That is going to cost our secondary, though, which is quite a hit for this Mako's offense. Cage comes out. The pass splitter. Bit unfortunate. It means it's out, and Celici brought terribly, terribly low. Will have to play his life for the foreseeable future. Maelstrom is not going to find a kill, but does get a ton of damage. There's our Mako secondary that we're used to seeing, and for the moment being, Supernova is in control of the ball as overtime ticks over.
Yeah, Nova just keeps it on the other side of the field. They may lose possession once in a while, but you can see just that flip there, instantly getting it back up to the side of Flying Blobos, and Supernova has just been doing such a great job of keeping this pressure flowing. They may not be getting these barriers down, but it doesn't matter if you just have all of these opportunities. But it is going to be Flying Blobos with the approach, and are able to get that barrier down now. Open net for the side of People Supernova could be a little scary. We do want to see some sort of way for Flying Blobos to get back in the game here.
With an Oni Blade and a Cyber Swipe, it's not going to be it yet, but it could be. There's the rush. Suddenly, Flying Blobos is out of resources for this offense. Alpha Me trying to do something with the Slice and Dice. A good core stop. That ball keeps the possession, or not the possession, keeps the red speed due to Funnies and Taro Jank.
Yeah, as now we're getting into this next point. Flying Blobos finally with a response to Supernova's dominance so far in this game. Is that could be a little bit of a scary spot here now. Emmy doesn't have any energy to use. Flip burned, and Moonbeam, Celici, and Daru aren't looking too scared when having to go onto this defensive line. You know, Juno is pretty good at playing defense. Her Blobos do give her some extra strikes, but Mako is known for just being a terrible abusive character in the goal line, and there's nothing you can really do other than just strike it through her, stun her 3 million times to get through her 3 million strikes. And at some point, it's going to be a lot harder for Flying Blobos to get these barriers down and get these goals, especially when they open it as so easy as that's going to be Daru catching the goal and just buffed by his team, able to get every strike right through.
Yeah, I would really like to see, I'll do a little color commentating here if you don't mind. I would really like to see Flying Blobos play a bit more towards this Zin's strengths, notably the damage with this Amy. Juno not known too well for her damage, but she does have the opportunity to do it if she'd like. I think if they could shift that around to start dealing some of this damage, which we see Alpha Me immediately start doing, might have the stream pulled up, I don't know. But yeah, Alpha B has decided to start just kind of being that Zentaro kill presence, and it will be rewarded with a flip at the cost of his own, but I think that's a trade you're willing to make.
Yeah, as another trade going off the field, it's going to be your goalie now from the side of People Supernova off the map. No longer a problem for another 5 more seconds. This is Emmy and Alpha Me trying to find something. Gets the base to flip out of Celici, and that is going to be no energy really on the side of Supernova. Daru has to find something here and now if they want to just end this point here, and that's going to be, oh my gosh, flip into NATO, into strike, and all of that. And I mean, great job from Flying Blobos. Kind of figured out maybe a little bit of a different game plan to look at, but ultimately it's going to be Supernova not caring. They may care a little bit here as they have basically no energy though.
Yeah, Alpha Me will try to find something. Daru's also looking for something on the flip side, and the Maelstrom's looking like it's going to set him up quite nicely. Fortunately, Alpha Me manages to find a clear, and that means that the offense for Supernova has died down for the time being, and it's actually flipped onto Flying Blobos' offensive pressure. Alpha Me with a flip will claim that barrier. Pensando jumped out of the way for a little bit, but that eject button means he is okay to do that and not be too scared about anything. Straight core to the bottom. Pensando will catch it, try to play it up and get something. However, nothing is to be found. Daru will actually find a dash punch onto the enemy brawler. And People's Supernova have a power play here. If they can get this barrier, ideally without the use of flip, I think you'd be very comfortable. But here comes Alpha Me off the respawn and immediately starts piling the damage on, but not before Mimi finds a gold.
Yeah, great job just finding the flip angle, finding the angle to score past Moonbeam. The one thing that Mako isn't very good at is covering range if she doesn't have her primary up. And even with that primary up, you still have to charge it up, as we saw. But Daru, I mean, such a powerful offense so far. Is the half the flying Blabos are looking low, and Daru just looking so powerful up on offense here. But that is going to be Flip coming out from Moonbeam, trying to get some damage onto Alpha Mia, instead just using that fire up to get their teammates a bit more speed on the core, or on the running side of things. But, I mean, Alpha Mia just able to kind of evade and get out of harm's way, as that is a lot of abilities burned into that Zentaro to try and get a kill, and nothing found, and now that's a not healthy, but perhaps moving Zentaro that can stand on his own. So we'll see what happens here, as Alpha Mia is still looking low, but nothing found just yet.
Yeah, Daru will actually be the one to find it and claim this second set. Bit of a stray core in the middle means that Daru is a brawler who will capitalize off that if he is given the chance.
Yeah, and I mean, getting into the draft here, I'm seeing a lot of scary things if you give it to Pensando. And by a lot, I mean Hotshot, but also, you know, aerials, Catalyst might be something that you want to block away. Team player is really good, and yeah, that's was opted to pick up by Pensando. Celestia opting to pick up that hot shot. It's not too bad on the character, but definitely something that is mostly just to block it away. But that also means that Moonbeam doesn't really have anything left online at the end of the draft. Is built different going down to that last pickup, and interesting awakenings overall, but I think low-key, I think Flying Blobos may have just won that draft pretty easily. Daru having that extra health from Tempo Swing may be a little nice though.
Could be. A Path Splitter comes out in top corner. Daru energy printing. There goes the cage. It's just not going to land. A good evade by Pensando. Oni's blade comes out. The slimes look scary. Slice and Dice is not going to find anything. Here comes Celesti's Maelstrom. If we can get something, Daru is looking, unable to find anything to stick at the moment. Daru will be the first to find a weakness, and with a flip to work with, if he can get the ball in this good spot one more time. Pass to Celesti looks good, unable to find anything. The Surret comes down for defense. That is a good resource expended. And Pensando, oh no, I missed jump. Means that Daru is once again left in the middle.
Yeah, Daru just looking so powerful on the offense. As soon as their teammates' abilities come out, you're seeing just that Flutterfly from Celestia makes them run all over the field, and each time the German base comes out from Moonbeam, you see just that extra little bit of buff comes out. But that is both speed abilities burned from the defensive line of Supernova, and this is where Flying Blabos has kind of stalled out the speed and has some time to get these barriers down. As that is going to be first barrier going down. Flips burned from Alpha Me to get the kill onto Celestia, but that's Celestia's flip now out as well with the kill, so now it's looking like a power play for Flying Blabos.
Yeah, there goes the cage, and there's the rush, or the cyber swipe as well. Glitch pop. Oh, Juno's jump. We are throwing everything at the wall against this enemy team, and we have found nothing. A momentary save from Mimi does not look good, but it is actually completely fine. And Moonbeam will not be able to find a weakness in the back line at the moment. And suddenly, Flying Blobos has an offense of their own, but unfortunately, nobody seems to be able to find the barrier or the goal when they should be able to. Alpha Me, some good dribbles, will finally put it away. There comes the rush. Alpha Me has built up a flip. Daru's got his, and right now, a glitch pop makes things a little awkward, but that's okay. Oh, Alpha Me. The flip will not find a kill, but Daru has the ball, and with the speed and the dash, Pensando has no evade to work with, and apparently no more abilities left in the kit.
Yeah, just so many abilities coming out. Great defensive sequence from Supernova, but ultimately, or from Flying Blabos and Supernova, I guess, at multiple times, but ultimately, it is going to be People Supernova locking in that goal, and now they're only 1 point away from taking this game for themselves. Emi forced to burn the flip to get the core past Daru, but it just comes right on back with that Mako just having so many strikes, just able to get it right through, as now Celestia has flip available, may opt to use it here pretty soon. Yeah, there it is. As great defense, though, is going to mean that no barrier is down just yet from the side of Supernova.
Yeah, and we reset back to Alpha. Me will be claiming that barrier for himself. Probably feels very good about that, but it is not quite over yet. Pensando will help with the friend sling and find a shot through Moonbeam. And it is a point. However, it does not feel like a point that is super comfortable. I feel like Nova, or People's Supernova, definitely still is comfortably in the driving seat for most of these rounds.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like if you're Pantheon, if you look at the Pantheon logo, you're rolling that stone up the hill, but it has been falling so fast for so long that like you gotta like get a tank or something and just ride behind the rock and push it up. As they do get that kill, this could be the tank starting to take shape, but and second barrier down now as well. But it is all up to this flip from Moonbeam, and oh my gosh! Fireball Sentry from Emmy is going to lock it in.
Yeah, coming into this last point of this set, Daru and Moonbeam both with a flip to work with. Mimi building one, or has one, and Sondo and Alpha Me not far behind. It is going to be a bit of a flip fest, if you will. Here comes the Maelstrom to come out. Mimi forced to burn the flip, but that is okay. You get Maelstrom and Path Splitter at the cost of your life. And Pensando and Alpha Me will have to hold possession long enough, but it will be brutally difficult against this Aramako backline that has nobody there to stop the Amako secondary. They've survived for now. Pensando flip is actually not going to save it. Daru, a good read, looked him dead in the eyes and said, I know what you're going to do. And there is Moonbeam Sama flipping for the move speed alone. Does not even care about the pressure. It is simply fire up value. 50% move speed for 6 seconds. It is very, very impactful.
Yeah, and that Supernova now going up to 1-0 in this best of 3. Looking very, very comfortable in this series. Just they didn't end up dropping any sets. Flying Blubos did have some sense of making their way back into the game later on in the series, but it was in the game, but it was a little dangerous of a spot to be in. And like it's kind of hard. When Daru just has so many things, you mentioned it, but Moonbeam with the fire up flip at the end just had the energy to burn and burned it in such a way that gave them the goal, because Daru just it's Asher. She's supposed to be this slow lumbering character that kind of abuses your team because she's just there and you can't get it out. But when she is as fast as a train, just going straight at your face, like, I mean, what can you do there? And unfortunately, that is the predicament that Flying Blobos found themselves in. It just an Asher just right in your face, and ultimately it came out on the side of People's Supernova just came out on top.
Yeah, and that is kind of, I feel like that is what People's Supernova, even whenever they're not playing this like kitten-esque comp that you would expect, you know, like in this comp you expect the Asher to be the one doing all the heavy work, right? You expect, like, Era doesn't really score by herself. She's got Maelstrom and that's about it. Sometimes she gets a beam. Mako's not doing too much besides maybe doing a cage. But generally from whenever I've seen People's Supernova play, even whenever they're on Estelle or like Amy or you know, like Moonbeam maybe being on like the Atlas, which is something he's more known for, I think. Daru is a brawler that actually makes magic happen. Whenever he gets the ball, it feels like sometimes, even in spots where like it shouldn't work, he just figures out how to do it. And that is a really, really, really good thing to have in a brawler. And I don't know if Pensando's Juno, like, what does Juno do? You know, like, I'm not saying you have to play a melee goalie, but whenever the brawler is so much of a threat, it feels really bad not having that melee goalie lockdown. No?
Yeah, I think one of Asher's, like, Asher when she gets into the corner, it's kind of very difficult to do anything against it, but definitely I think the Juno is going to have some difficulty, whereas something like an Atlas or a Dubu are going to be able to kind of keep yourselves out of trouble for at least a little while longer. And that's kind of what I would like to see from this Juno or from Pensando. I know they do have the hot shot capabilities in this game, and of course that is going to be a ban. But I think I would like to see them save goalie for last. Here they're kind of letting the timer die down, figure out what they want to pick or ban, and yeah, they're gonna go with the Asher. But I would like to see the goalie picked up last, simply because Pensando can play a lot of can pilot a lot of characters, do a good job, but I'd like them to kind of pick into the other team to figure out. Yeah, the Asher Juno matchup did not work out well for us at all. So let's take a step back, adapt, see what we want to pick here is Nova picking up the Rastel and then the Atlas goalie. Pretty traditional comp there.
Yeah, this is a very standard comp. Notably, this is Celicy on the Estelle. We saw that show up a little bit in yesterday's EKC game, I believe. No, the Bombardiers game. So for any Nassau watchers, a little throwback to yesterday's session. We see how they rounded out this Flying Blavos quest or roster, that is, and they're gonna round it out with Feeney, which makes sense. I imagine this is not anything crazy. This is probably just Pensando Feeney, and then no, I'm lying. I understand now. Okay, normally I would say yeah, this is a Feeney goalie. However, I know what these players play. That is a Feeney midfield. That Kaizen blocks. I think my co-caster died. Probably doing some fraud stuff.
I was muted. My bad. I had to cough. So yeah, I think it's an interesting pivot in opportunity to kind of figure out, hey, last game did not work out for us. How do you want to go into this next game? And I'm not ruling out the Finny already, but if it is a Finny midfield, there are a lot of glaring issues with some of her kits. Mostly just speed, basically exclusively speed. That something like Rastel, they're going to be able to get a setup into your team, into your defense, and make things really, really hard to play against if you are that Finny that doesn't really have the speed to watch out. And Kai as well, being the actual defender, theoretically, is also going to have that kind of difficulty. We'll have some speed to work with, but it's really not as much as you want to see.
Yeah, a little OIA on the boards for Alpha Meat and Pensando. This Asher may be a little abusable this game if Alpha Meat is not careful. And we were correct. That is indeed the Imi Feeney bars. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see if it can pay off. Alpha Meat will be the first to strike this round, though, claiming a kill on Celicy, and now if they can get level 2, get a pass splitter down, it is looking a little doomed for Moonbeam, as there are just not enough resources in the kit to respond to a threat that scary.
Yeah, I think having this hotshot could be very scary if it's allowed to scale, but in theory, the side of Flying Blavos just wants to be able to get the core through you before you even get to that overtime proc. Is great defense from Celicy, and the side of Supernova is going to mean no barrier or no goal found just yet on this first point. But I mean, there's just so much pressure. It's great defense from Pensando, and great save conversely from Moonbeam is going to mean that still nothing found, no kills found either. Alpha may try to get the dash punch with the breakthrough into barrier beam, but nothing was found, and ultimately that means that now we're in overtime. That hotshot has time to scale, that's gonna be going straight in.
Yeah, and the pendulum swing is not even needed to land. It is just too fast, and there are too many options for that Rasmus to take. That means that People's Supernova will claim this first point and immediately go into the second point, probably looking for more off the back of what is almost 3 flips. Imi has built theirs up. Daru tries to find something to hook. It looked good. Unfortunately not able to find anything in this corner, though. Will not be using the flip. Alpha Me doing a bit of hunting this round, it seems. It seems like every time I look over at him, he is dash punching Celici. Celici through the portal will find a Crystal Thorns to take that barrier. And now, if Flying Blobos want a chance at this round, they need to fight back now, because I think in another rotation of abilities, it's going to get really, really scary.
Yeah, I mean, Mimi with the flip is going to be able to find the barrier down. Now, this is where the side of Flying Blavos wants to be, saved away from the goal by Moonbeam Sama. And, I mean, the flip available is pretty scary if you are the side of Supernova. But that is no flip now and no energy for anyone on the side of Flying Blavos. I mean, Supernova has theoretically just the opportunity to end this kind of here and now. We've procced overtime, but oh my gosh, Bear Beam taken out that defense Moonbeam from the field, and Alpha made just nice punch right on the net.
That is a really, really good kill to find. Alpha Me is already stacking up a bit of a throne of skulls, if you will, and they will be taking it through the portal to the top side, taking that opposite portal side. But Mimi taken off through the help of Pendulum Swing and Beam. Alpha Me tries to find a dash punch, not going to land anything. And that means that people Supernova are just going to walk this up comfortably in. There we go. Trying to hit the tip of the barrier. Not going to find anything. A triple take will actually be what takes the barrier for people Supernova, as the place sort of dies down for the moment, but immediately, just like that, we are back in the corner, back on the defense. The damage is being piled onto Pensando, and with the help of Hit Stun, the barriers will... the core will go into the net.
Yeah, I mean, you just have constant abilities just straight in your face, and with all the stuns, eventually your cooldowns will run out if you're Pensando. And I mean, just great job from people Supernova to get that pressure going. I like to highlight as well Moonbeam's kind of usage of that Celestial Intervention, the ultimate, to keep everyone alive on their team. On this map of Gates of Obscura, you kind of want to hover exactly where we see the teams hovering right now. Just in that corner, kind of close, have one person close to the wall and one person kind of covering the out clear and behind the person on the wall. But you can get killed just like that, as that is going to be a kill from either side found too close to the wall were both those brawlers. And just like that, now we're on the power play for neither side, I guess. Dario back online, though, is able to get the rebound, and Alpha Me now back online as well.
Yeah, and there comes that Whiplash and the Pendulum Swing and just about everything besides the Death Touch quite yet, but a pass from Celici, well, not just Celici, from Moonbeam to Celici to Daru. Daru will sink it in top corner and claim themselves a set and possibly some good awakenings.
Yeah, as going into the draft, we got Recovery Drone hovered by Daru here on the Rasmus. I mean, size, Rasmus, you can't really go wrong there, and that's exactly what we see picked up. I think that's just going to make Daru a whole much more of an opponent, and also, of course, you have that extra revive for all of Alpha Me's dash punches. That is a bit more speed on the Asher. I was talking about it in the last game a little bit, but when Asher has speed, she's a lot more oppressive, and so I'm interested in seeing how Alpha Me is going to be using this fight or flight and kind of keeping this pressure flowing with these awakenings. Also, of course, a lot of good awakenings here on the other side of the field. But I think it is pretty even in terms of like what all we got and what all we were able to get. I think the glass cannon on Moonbeam is going to kind of counter Alpha Me's fight or flight a little bit. But if Alpha Me just keeps punching Moonbeam, we'll see maybe less of that. As oh my gosh, that'd be great strike to catch the goal.
Yeah, the little portal plays, always nice to see. Especially those shots like that. Like you see a lot of those with core flip, but with ever like just taking straight shots like that. Bit rare, probably because it's a bit rare for it to actually like work. I think mini goalies are too fast, especially, or mini goalies have too many abilities to reliably make it work. But it'll claim a point, and quickly, just like that, will Supernova will do a little defense, go back onto the offense here for a moment. It's going around and around. We love the portals. Celici brought dangerously low, kind of forced out of this play, cannot get involved there, otherwise he will be paying with his life. And Daru, a Moonbeam Sama, oh, holy moly. Moonbeam Sama's Astral Projection is not going to be able to get the ball back in his hands like you would have liked.
Yeah, and now we're looking at Flying Blobos up 2-0 in the second set. Pretty comfortable lead here. And I think their game plan is kind of coming into fruition. They have a lot of that speed and a little bit of damage as well to make it more difficult for the side of People Supernova to really get these offenses flowing. Anytime they go into that corner, they take too much damage to really get anything out of the play. And now, I mean, Asher Alpha Me just able to absolutely stuff out that flip is crucial as well. Because now you got two flips on the side of Flying Blobos, and they're planning to use it as soon as possible here. But that is going to be Alpha Me taken off the field, and Celsi great warp in. But oh no!
Oh my. Sometimes sources like demons from the deep come out and possess your goalie. It happens. It's okay. It's one set. It's not like it matters. They're up a map anyways. May as well, you know. We'll see what this enemy team can pick up off that draft. Looks like peak performance that is very strong. I'm also looking at a little happy star for this Asher, maybe. Oh.
Yeah, but you know, we see something that everyone hates or everyone loves, depends on who you ask. Is more size on Erasmus. That Demolitionist is going to be really nice if you are Daru, because you also get the cooldowns as well now. But also we do see that team player from Moonbeam is really big, just so much more core speed to maybe help you stall out. But that is Daru. No recoveries are left in the set already to use, so that is a little scary if you are the side of People Supernova. As getting into this, we also have Celsi, you know, having more of those cooldowns, more opportunities if they get a kill, and it may not be the side of Supernova that's getting kills though, as Daru is looking really low.
Yeah, he's looking low, but he's got the portals to play around, and that means he is actually very hard to actually shut down. The Whiplash, Pendulum Swing, the Thorns, it all comes out. Pensando overwhelmed without enough strikes to, you know, consistently beat everything. That is the Rasmus Estelle that we are so used to seeing.
Yeah, I mean, the Rastel just tried and true, you know, able to do whatever they want for the most part. But I mean, you're seeing it again and again in this game. They just look so comfortable. Oh, incredible save from Moonbeam to get this save. And I mean, as I was mentioning a little bit earlier, just their Moonbeam has been doing a really great job of placing down these Celestial Interventions, preventing their team from dying and putting their team in good spots to stay alive. This almost second barrier going down. Great offense from Alpha Me, and Emmy is going to open up that barrier.
Yeah, and Celsi brought dangerously low, hunted by Alpha Me. Moonbeam will try to find some passes. Pensando up with the flip, not going to be able to put it in quite yet, but with Daru and Celsi walking it up, not able to find anything either. Barrage comes out, they're just trying to keep Celsi out of the play, and there is the Celestial Intervention. Celsi now brought back to full HP almost, will probably be able to play the game. Good strike pop shot by Moonbeam means that they keep possession for the time being. There is the Fini thing. The Fini ultimate. Good barrage. Unfortunately, Whiplash ends up beating it, and that's not Whiplash.
Yeah, the pendulum swing locking in the goal. As now getting into this next point, we're looking at People Supernova, kind of figuring out what they want to do. It feels a shifting tides in this game. You have Supernova taking that first set pretty handedly, and then Flying Blobos, I think 3-0ing the last set, and now Supernova looking to turn this around, get themselves this next set 3-0 in a 3-0 fashion, as Daru has that flip online, may be able to use it here to kind of get some sort of pressure going. But, I mean, another incredible save from Moonbeam Saba is going to be that flip stays online and your Rasmus is still there to stun and be obnoxious for another day.
Yeah, Daru will try to find a possession, try to get something. And being forced off of this corner here due to low HP Alpha Me playing that dash punch game we've seen all game this so far. I mean, the flip is actually not going to land. Alpha Me's still hunting, actually going to burn the flip. Daru is probably feeling a little hated right now, if I had to guess, just based off the amount of damage and the amount of beatings he's taking. Celestial Intervention saves him once more. That is the curse of playing against Moonbeam. You cannot kill his brawler or his midfielder unless you put some pressure onto him first. He is so consistent with those revives.
Yeah, and Atlas with the hot shot off the start has another like cooldowns up constantly. It feels just able to defend permanently, and with that team player as well, you're gonna get access to the core and that fast speed so often. You have hot shot buffing the abilities, and then team player buffing the strikes. Is there? It's gonna be the strike into the pendulum swing as People's Supernova now up 2-0 in potentially this final game of the series, this final set of the series. As looking at draft, anything interesting you see here, Flop?
Notably looking at a spark of focus, not really because anybody's sparked already, but because I think Atlas would just really like the CDRs. I don't think he needs anything else in this draft, and I think if Moonbeam got the cooldown on not only Expanse and Primary, but that Celestial Intervention is going to be all the more harder for Mimi and Alpha Me to find KOs, because Atlas is already doing a great job at holding it down. Celestia picking up that aerials. We've already seen a good amount of People's Supernova. They just drop the ball into open space and then they let Celestia catch. I think this draft is just really, really good for People's Supernova.
Yeah, I mean, they have so many more shenanigans that they can perform from the side of People's Supernova. I think Chrono Boost is nice on Pensando. You can see just that speed from that Orbancer, and the Chrono Boost just keeps it flowing as well. Right after is, oh my gosh, Alpha Miemi, able to get the barrier down and just looking pretty confident. I think it is a little bit of what we saw last game as well. Shades of last game, but perhaps with different players. As Alpha Me just constantly getting buffed by their team, has a bit of that extra size from Mimi taking that among Titans, and I think it is definitely a draft won by Supernova, but I think the side of Flying Blobos were able to perhaps further their point of kind of what they want to do in this game. Is going to be nonetheless Celestia getting that barrier and that goal.
Yeah, People's Supernova is looking really, really comfortable right now. It feels like every time I see these guys on the defense, they are either letting their Atlas take the interactions with these hard-to-beat abilities. There's the Expanse, and they'll see if Imi can capitalize, and they will. And, I mean, yes, we've claimed a point at the cost of... Is that 2 flips? I'm looking at the bars, and I want to say 2 flips, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, I'm honestly not too sure either. I think Pensando may have had to burn Evade or something a little earlier, but either way, they still got the 1 flip available. They could use it pretty effectively here if they are careful, but that is going to be a great stun from Moonbeam to keep it out for now. And I mean, as you're saying, we just have so much pressure on the defense and on the offense too, from the side of Supernova. Daru just a one-man army on the offense, not quite catching the goal, but making it so difficult for any defense from the side of Flying Blobos. But on the other hand, Supernova losing that point is Flying Blobos just Alpha Me so massive up in your face if you're Moonbeam.
Yeah, and with Daru and the entirety of People's Supernova all building towards a flip, we'll see if they can claim out this point and stop this comeback before it begins. Daru, a little whiplash, that's pendulum swing, will find it, and off that whiplash will actually find that barrier. The death touch will claim the ball, but not quite how you would like. Mimi not able to cover everything as she needs. Fortunately, that is the downside of this Fini pick. Even though she has Among Titans peak performance, it is still hard for her to actually cover everything without the traditional haste that these melee midfielders, if you will, typically have. Keeping it going, Alpha Me goes onto the offense. Yeah, Pensando forced him onto the defense here for a moment. Intervention projection will keep it forward. They'll lose both barriers, and People's Supernova are closing in with 2 flips to work with. This is looking a little scary through the portal. Celestia Beam comes out. Daru finds the top shot and claims the second map of the match, and will be the winner of the Flying Blobos Nova series.
Yeah, I found my voice again. Great job from the side of People's Supernova. Just had their game plan down to a T, it feels. were able to pull out that Rastel and play very effectively. And they did lose one set, but it never really felt like they were out of control of the game. With each passing moment, it felt like they were just able to do more and more. And eventually it just became a bit too much for them, for the side of Flying Blavos to really deal with. As we saw there, just great job from the entire side of People Supernova. They're going to be able to lock in the series victory. Let me do that real quick. Week 8 now. Both teams were at 5-2 going into the series, and now it is People Supernova going up to 6-2. I believe that does lock them into playoffs. And then Flying Blavos going down to 5-3. A little scary, but as long as they win, I mean, either way, they're going to end out the season with a positive score. It's just a matter of how much, and I'm not 100% confident on that.
For sure, and we'll see. Neither of these teams, this is not a devastating loss for either team. Both of them are pretty comfortable. This is more of a upper battle skirmish, if you will, kind of just to decide, mostly seeding, fighting for that first or maybe second spot, depending on how other games go. I'll say it, my games go. But we'll see how the rest of the league shakes up next week for those games before we can finalize standards. But stick around for now, because we will be getting into more North American Striker Academy games. Up next is Those Who Strike After versus Wee's Little Bees. Stay tuned for that.
We will be right back as soon as I can click the button. We'll be right back. Hold on. We'll be right back now. There we go.